Hi guys, and welcome back to another colorful keto with Dori. I see Facebook is glitching and doesn't want to sign on. Hello. it's still attempting to connect to the internet that is 2 feet away from where we are. So if it doesn't actually connect on Facebook, I will save this version of the live for you guys. Share it with you on Facebook. Oh, there we go. Facebook is up. Hi, guys. Happy Wednesday. How are you? It's Getting Over the Hump with Dori today. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to talk about today. And then I had a very busy morning. So let's start there. So my morning started out with this week's recipe blog dropped this morning. I'm so excited, like so stinking excited. This is something new that I'm going to be doing every single week, and every Wednesday at 7:15 Mountain Time, it will drop and there'll be a new recipe on the blog for you guys. So today's blog, we're talking about homemade nut seed flours and butters, because they're one of the ways that I save, honestly, the most money with my keto. It takes moments to make it at home, and you save, honestly, a small fortune. So my day started out that way, and I was making videos for today's blog, and then I started reflecting back on when I made my very first nut seed flour video, and we're gonna circle back to that. We're going to circle back. So kind of just hold that in your head, that was my train of thought this morning. I made the recipe, I was posting it, and then it started making me think of way back when. And then I was scrolling my TikTok this morning, and I came across a sound that honestly, it moved me. And I realized that this was a sound that I needed to hear right now in this moment today, and I made a video with it. So I'm going to play the video, and then we're going to come back to what we're talking about today.
So I'm pacing through my space, irritable about what happened this other day, and I said to myself, I said, girl, I have never forgiven them for what they did. Like, could you believe them? The audacity. She said, what I can't believe is that you're still holding on to it. Haven't you realized it's their way? Girl, don't be foolish. Figuratively speaking, you holding on to a rock everywhere you go. Its weight is equivalent to the darkness taking home in your soul. So tell me, do you want that rock everywhere you be? Because I see you trying to fly, yet here you are, and there's the sky. You got all the power to be a majestic bird, phoenix rising from the ashes. Come on, girl, I know you heard. Let go of the weight, sis, it ain't doing you no good. Got you pressed like a panini, yet you the one holding on to the hood. I just recommend that you let the lid go so you can see that it's you keeping yourself in the hole. But you ain't got to be here if you don't want to be. But it's up to you to choose how much you love yourself and how much you want to be free.
So after I listened to that sound this morning, I realized in every portion of our life, there are things that we hold on to, that we carry, that we cling to, that hold us back, that hold us down. So I thought, you know what, let's relate this back to my keto journey, and I want to share with you guys two. I'm going to share 2 stories with you of things that I have been holding on to that I know are holding me back. And the reason why I want to share these with you, because these are things we've never discussed on my page, but I want to talk to you about it in hopes that I can let these things go and realize that holding on to past hurt, past blame, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you move forward. You're not hurting anyone else by holding on to the things that you're upset about, the things that hold you back. So let's circle all the way around, and we're going to start talking about the feelings that came up for me when I was reposting my nut seed flour recipe. So what you guys don't know is that was the very first thing I ever learned how to make. I was I was not able to have access to a variety of nut flowers in the small town where I live. And I got to thinking, I wonder how hard is it to make? Is it hard to do that? So I Googled it and I looked up some recipes, and it was easy, like ridiculously easy. Like it takes 30 seconds to make it at home. And I was very excited. So I started at that point making my own nut seed flowers and butters. I was a member of a very large Facebook group. It was small when I joined, but it got big. And that's gonna be an important part of the story as well. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head. So I was a member of this group. I was good friends with the lady who ran the group, and I was very active in that Facebook group. I had lots of friends there. We shared a lot. It was a really fun, interactive, silly group. It was amazing, and I loved it there. They were my people. Like, for every 1,000,000%, they were my people. So I ran into group and I started to tell everybody, like, oh my God, make your own nut flour, make your own seed flour. It's so easy, dude. Like, you could do it in 5 seconds. It's so easy. But nobody would believe me. Like, I posted the video that I saw and I told everybody how easy it was, but they didn't believe me. So the answer I got from group was, well, Dori, I mean, if somebody we knew made the video, then maybe we would believe it. You know, maybe someone we know needs to make the video. So I messaged the lady who runs the group and I said, can you make a video about how to make nut and seed flour? Because it's so easy, but no one will believe me. And she laughed and she said, oh, Dori, you're so silly. I don't want to make a video, but why don't you make a video and share it to my group? And I was like, oh, okay. Are you sure? Because I mean, I don't really know how to do that. I don't know how to make a video, but I can figure it out. So I Googled how to do a Facebook video, and I decided I was going to make a Facebook video for this group, my favorite group. I love them so much, and I just wanted them to be happy like I was. So I started the first video. I made it, I believe it was both sideways and without any sound. Cheers! Cheers, Dori, for being so smooth. So I made the first video, and of course I had to remake it on account of the sideways and no sound, but I posted it into group and I was so excited and everybody loved the video. And from there they said, well, Dori, the quality on Facebook really isn't all that good. You need a YouTube channel. And I was like, well, but I don't know how to YouTube channel. So I Googled it and I started a YouTube channel. So if you go all the way back to my first videos on my YouTube channel, every single one of those videos was dedicated to this particular group, to members in this group. So one of my first videos, my very first videos that I posted on YouTube, was about 1-minute muffins and mug bread with a twist. So basically what I did was I went into group and I asked everybody, what are your favorite flavors? What flavors do you want? What flavors do you love? And then we're gonna go on live and we're gonna make them. I'm gonna wing it. There is no recipe. I went on live with just flavor requests. Because Dori, that's honestly what I used to do. I never used to share established recipes. I just went live and taught people how to be creative. So we popped on live and I did the whole video, and it was the first video that I posted on YouTube, and I immediately got backlash for it in other Facebook groups because self-promoting. So I was happy to post in my friendly group. I loved them there. And as I started making more videos for them, they encouraged me to make more videos, to, you know, branch out and try different recipes and new things. So I'm so grateful for that group because I owe them that. Like, that creativity came from them, and I don't know that I would have gotten there without a group of people to make things for. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I would have been so excited to do it if it was just for myself. So things went on quite well for a few months. And then as I started to make more videos and as the group started to grow and grow exponentially, and when I started in that group, it was brand new and my girlfriend added me like the day she started it. And within a few months, there was 15,000 people in group. And at that point, those people didn't know me. They didn't know that I had been around since the beginning. They didn't know that, I guess they didn't know we were friends. I guess is what it boiled right down to. And new people who had joined group had started to complain about my content, that they didn't feel that it was fair that I was making videos there and posting them, and they were concerned with self-promotion, and they felt like this was my friend's group and I was taking advantage of her by sharing content. So she did reach out to me and explained to me that a few people had messaged her, and at that time she said, "Don't worry, Dori, because I don't feel that way." But in all honesty, I think if you got messages like that and you didn't agree with them and you didn't feel that way, then you probably wouldn't share that information. You know, you would let that go. So I really felt like it was kind of just a casual way to let me know that I had overstepped my bounds. So at that point, I started to back off quite quickly from her group, and I did make a post and let them know, "Hey guys, like I'm here if you have any questions, if you need any help, but I'm going to be busy on my own projects and my own things." And for a few months, people would tag me, you know, in recipes or questions that they had, mostly recipe conversions, because that's what I do, honestly, more than anything else, is difficult recipe conversions. So for a little while, I did get messages and tags every once in a blue moon. And then the last post that I made into that group sat for 2 whole weeks, and nobody commented on it and nobody liked it. And I realized at that time that they weren't my people. Even though it was heartbreaking for me, and it was hard to understand and to realize that I had been friends with these people and I started my keto journey with them. But once I got to the point where I was growing and my journey was changing, it was no longer the place for me. And it's a really hard thing to accept, because when you do this, your only motivation is to do it for people, to share it with people. And for a long time, several years, I carry that with me now. And when I put out content or when I post in other groups, I will admit that I live in a constant fear of, will I overstep my bounds? Will I offend people? Is my personality too much? Because in the beginning, that's really the only complaint people had, right? I had no platform. I had nothing. I wanted to share my story with other people. And I realized that a lot of times I let that hold me back. I let it keep me from sharing things that maybe I should be sharing. So it's something that I haven't honestly reflected on in a really long time, until I was reposting today's seed flour. And it got me thinking about that time and how it made me feel, and how I still allow that to hold me back a little bit. So talking to you guys about it really, and I will get emotional, I will bawl, because that's what I do. is really just a way for me to open that up and look at it and figure out why does that bother me? Why does it upset me? Why do I let it hold me back? Because I haven't been interactive with these people in 2 years, but it still sometimes holds me back. So that is on me, right? It no longer has anything to do with the people who made me sad, and now it only has to do with me. Am I going to perpetuate that? Am I going to allow that to hold me back? And yes, a lot of harsh things will happen in our lives. A lot of people will hurt our feelings, and sometimes the things that happen feel unforgivable. You know, somebody did something that's unforgivable. Can you imagine the audacity? The audacity of that. But at the end of the day, those people no longer have control over my path, my journey, my life. So allowing that to hold me back, that's on me, right? It is on me, isn't it? I totally feel like that's on me. So while we're going to scroll quick and see who all we got watching. Paola, long time no see, darling. Virginia, Judy, Glenda. Oh my goodness, lady, it's been forever. How long has it been since I've seen you? Months. I feel like it's months. Miss Lori, Dori. My Lori friend. We match names. So the second thing that I wanted to talk to you about is when you feel like you have support and you are working with people who believe in you, and how that sometimes turns toxic. Tanisha just said it, like right there. Say no to toxic relationships. So the second incident that I've really been holding on to, and I've never talked with you guys about. I mean, I have talked with a few of my friends about it, but I've never talked with you guys about it. So when I first started doing my keto page, there were several people that I kind of started up with all around the same time. And you do really feel a bond to those people and a connection because you're starting your journey together. But the problem with that is as you grow and your journey changes, those same people might not be on your same path. So I had a lady that I was networking with quite closely, and I will say that our styles and our content were slightly different. She was very much into spiritual things, which I have no issue with. I'm middle of the road. If you're spiritual or if you're religious, I'm kind of right down the middle of the road. So neither bothers me, to be honest with you. I don't feel some kind of a way about people who are spiritual, and I don't feel some kind of a way about people who are religious. But her content was very, very spiritual, very woo-y, and that's okay with me. It is. But several people came up to me and said, you know, Dori, if you are going to work so closely and network so closely, it will affect you. It will affect your following and your numbers. And I didn't care. Like, I knew that at the time. I knew it, but I didn't care because as far as I was concerned, she was my friend and we were on this journey together. I have her back 1,000,000%. She has my back 1,000,000%. And I think that it's easy to lose sight of friendships that start out very positive and then slowly turn negative. So I will say that in the beginning, our content together was amazing. It was great. It was fun. It was informative. It was a blast. And people would message me and say, oh my God, Dori, this content is hilarious. It's fun. It's amazing. I love it. And towards the end of our association, I would start getting messages from my people that would say, I didn't like that live, Dori. I don't really like how she talks to you. I don't like how she kind of looks down her nose at you, and I find it very uncomfortable to watch. And at the time, I thought that they were wrong, or maybe seeing something that I didn't see. Like, to me, she was my friend who was always super supportive of me. And then the bottom dropped out. as things often do. And although I had felt like she was my greatest supporter, things like that can change really, really quickly. So I'm going to tell you kind of the incident itself and then a little bit of background. So we both each had our own Facebook groups, but we also socialized in groups that were not ours. So this incident happened in a group that was neither hers nor mine. It was a mutual friends group, but I was a moderator in that group. So there was a post for meal prep solutions in this mutual group. And what I didn't notice right away, and this I will take on myself because this part of the blame is mine. I did not realize that the post said clean meal prep. But when I saw the post for meal prep, I thought, well, I only really have one meal prep video. It's the one where I did with my nephews and they came over, we made lunch, we made fun, colorful vegetables, and we had a blast. So I shared that one. Now again, not her group. If it was her group, I could see her objecting to that by saying, well, you know what, Dori, this is my group and I've asked for clean recipes. But it wasn't her group. And the lady who owned the group didn't have an issue with it. Her and I have an understanding about food coloring, and it's that anyone can omit it if they don't want it. It is the basis of what I do because it makes my food fun and interesting. But anybody at any point can omit food coloring. So when I posted this in the group, she went in and she commented and said, wow, awesome recipe, Dori. However, could you provide us recipes without food coloring, as food coloring isn't acceptable for keto? And my first thought was no. No, I actually can't. I can't do that because you know what? If I make a regular fathead pizza instead of a rainbow neon fathead pizza, that's just fathead. Like that's not even Dori's fathead recipe. So I was offended. I won't lie. I was offended to have her publicly say, not just, food coloring isn't the best. Food coloring is not acceptable for keto. Now, there are a lot of people who do super, super clean versions of keto and they wouldn't touch food coloring. But I also show organic options. I've shown you guys how to make food coloring. And at the end of the day, I am Colorful Keto with Dori, and color is my brand. So that, to me, it's more than just saying something about a video that I made. Also, it's a video about my nephews. So you feel more strongly about that. And the entire point of the video was if kids won't eat vegetables, add a little food coloring and maybe they will. So it was kind of not only the core of what I do, but it was the whole entire point of the video. Like if you were to take the food coloring out of that video, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. So now a little bit of background, and this again, I take this part on myself because it's really easy in a situation to magnify that and think of all of the reasons why that person should have been more sensitive to your feelings. So that day just happened to be the day that I was doing my very first live with Dr. Jorge Sereno. And if you guys know him, he's my doctor, my surgery doctor. And it took me 6 whole months to convince him to do a live because he's shy. Like it's been well over a year of doing regular lives with him now. But I spent 6 months pulling this together. I was so nervous. And 10 minutes before I went on live, she picked a fight with me. And I was mad. Like, I am not gonna lie to you guys. I was angry. Like, I was angry like I think I haven't been angry before. So when I messaged her and I said, hey, like, I don't know, did I miss something? Do we publicly attack each other now? I got back, hey, love. This wasn't meant to offend. I know that your brand is colorful. However, as a keto expert, I also know that food coloring isn't acceptable. And it's not about you, Dori. It's about how it lands on people who view it. You could very easily disclaimer all of your content by saying food coloring isn't actually keto. Feel free to omit it without getting bent, my friend. And again, I thought, no, no, I can't. I actually can't do that without getting bent about it, because it literally takes the core of what I do and says, hi, I'm Dori, I'm fun, I'm colorful. By the way, colorful isn't actually keto, so I'm Dori, not so keto, colorful. And I was really offended that somebody that I really felt supported me honestly didn't in the end. But it was a very long process to get from where we started out together for me to realize that she wasn't supporting me anymore. And I think that it's important that we take stock and reevaluate all of our relationships as we're growing and as we're changing, because someone might be your best friend now, and a year from now, they might no longer have your best interest at heart, right? Like that, things change, people change, circumstances change. So these are two things that I was really holding on to. My fear of rejection and my fear that I will invest all of this time helping people grow, and then in the end they will turn on me. And it is definitely something that holds me back, but only I have the control over that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it happened in October of 2018. So it's 2 years ago. Who's holding on to this? It's only me. Because I can guarantee you, she does not feel bad. Like, she doesn't feel bad. She doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. To mutual friends, she said she didn't do anything wrong. I'm just overreacting like Dori always does because, you know, Dori is emotional. So really, at the end of this 2 years, she hasn't given me another thought. Like, I haven't even crossed a blip on her radar, and yet I'm still holding on to the fear that goes along with that. So I really feel like part of our journey together is learning about those things, how to process, how to let go of that, how to not let that hold you back. And I can't say that I have the answers, because obviously we're talking about something I've been holding on to for like 2 stinking years. But I think the first step is admitting that it hurt me, admitting that it was hard for me to deal with, and admitting that 2 years later, I still feel as hurt about it as I did in that moment. And that's what's damaging about bottling up your emotions, because they don't fade. They don't go away. It doesn't get easier with time. You don't forget those feelings. It's almost like somehow they magnify inside of that bottle, and then all of a sudden one day something simple and easy comes up, and all of a sudden you're right back there. You're right back in that moment. And when it happened, I didn't deal with it. I didn't deal with it, and I didn't heal from it. And so many of those things in our lives will reoccur when we start to feel better. Your brain is working better. Guess what? You're going to remember all kinds of things. They might not all be pleasant. Like, I'm just going to put it out there and say not all of the feelings and emotions that come to you are going to be easy to handle, and they're not always going to be positive. But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to take the experiences we've had and turn them into a positive. So how can I make a positive out of that? Do you know what? At the time, I continued on my way. I decided people who didn't support me no longer had a place in my journey, and I would move on. But until you heal that, are you really moving on, or are you just hiding from those emotions. So I invite you guys to think about some of the emotions that you're holding on to. Do they serve you? Is it valuable for you to hold on to this, or is it something that's holding you back? If I can let go of my fear of rejection and my fear of abandonment when it comes to support, then maybe I will reach out to the people who are meant to take my journey with me. But being afraid to believe in anybody, what opportunities could I be missing out on, right? What things am I not letting myself do because of doubt? You know, every time I post a recipe, I wait for people to say something about it now, because I know from experience that even the people closest to me who say that they support me the most might not, right? So it's a very fine line between making your own path and realizing that you're the only one who can do that. Like, no one else can make me heal from this, make me get over this. But I do feel like talking to you guys about it today helps, because it's something that I have buried so deep that I just have not bothered to open up. And you can't sort your baggage if you don't take it out and set it out on the floor. Right? That's the process. It is really looking at everything that you've been saving and auditing it. Auditing it. Yes. We need to sort through this emotional baggage and this information. Is it helpful? Is it harmful? If it's hurting you, then you know what? It's time to clear it out and make space in your box for helpful things. So, I love you, Tanisha. It is so nice to see you. And Morgette, it's awesome to see you today. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today. And make sure you go check out the recipes on the new blog. I'm so excited. And it's one of those opportunities that I have to network and associate with someone who loves what I do and believes in what I do. And we have to trust ourselves in that moment and know that we're doing the things we're meant to do, and we will find the people who are meant to help us do them. So if you guys are scared of something, shoot me a message and we'll talk about it today, because I don't got that much on the go today. We can chat about whatever is holding you back. And today's the day. It's like a balloon and a rock. We're just going to cut the rock and be like, woo, all the way up. And we're going to fly like the birds we're meant to. And we're going to have an amazing time together. I love you guys. Have a great Wednesday. And stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to be getting together with Paleo Barbie Does Keto, Lindy. And we're going to talk about things we can do during quarantine. How to keep your kids busy. Keep them out your hairs. How to keep yourself busy. How to keep you out your husband's hair. And all the things that we can do to stay keto when we have limited resources. So stay tuned. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Mountain tomorrow. See you Thursday, guys. Bye. Julie, you stay safe too, darling. Bye, guys. I love you all.
Share it with you on Facebook. Oh, there we go. Facebook is up.